Leisure Pro presents its fresh new website. We have made it easier to shop for the products you want with our all-new product categories and navigation. Shop our weekly specials on our totally revamped product pages. Chat with our experts and read product reviews to make sure the product you want is the product you're looking for. The only thing that hasn't changed is our outstanding customer service. So shop the all-new LeisurePro.com with the best price match guarantee and get the products you want fast. Reef Safe, the official sun care product of ScubaNation, introduces the 2015 Reef Safe Mermaid Calendar. Start 2015 off right with a beautiful mermaid for each month of the year. The Reef Safe Mermaid Calendar features 24 stunning pages of mermaids and high-gloss UV coating. For each calendar sold, $1 will be donated to the Moat Marine Laboratory, so celebrate the beauty of the mermaids while helping to protect our oceans. Order yours today.
We all know how important it is to have proper lighting on any dive or snorkel adventure. Lack of light can make images appear green and blue. Sure, you can add filters, you can attempt to edit later, but the best thing you can do for your images is add a powerful light. Sea Life makes the most popular underwater camera systems in the world. Recently, Sea Life introduced their powerful new Sea Dragon lights, designed for compact POV cameras like GoPro. Hey scuba divers, go to your favorite dealer and ask for the Sea Dragon lighting by Sea Life.
ScubaNation Apparel.
Bye, Uzi!
Available at ScubaNation.com. This edition of ScubaNation is brought to you by Sea Dog and Shipyard Ales, the official beer of ScubaNation. The Florida Keys and Key West, come as you are. Sea Life Underwater Cameras. Maris, the official equipment provider for ScubaNation.
This time on ScubaNation.
The boys take you diving on both sides of the famous 7 Mile Bridge and the fabulous Florida Keys. We'll visit some relics from the old 7 Bridge on one side and then catch the Underwater Music Festival on the other side. Get ready for some great wrecks, reefs, and some other yummy surprises this time on ScubaNation.
Who is ScubaNation? Billy C. Boston born and raised.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
Hey, Billy C would dive a puddle if it was deep enough.
Bitch and Mitch. Southern boy.
Diving's like pizza. When it's good, it's great, and when it's bad, it's still good.
2 ordinary guys with a thirst for getting wet and exploring all things scuba. We are ScubaNation. One nation underwater.
Presented by Leisure Pro.
What's up, ScubaNation? I'm Mitch.
I'm Billy C.
Now, ScubaNation, old Billy C and I, we've been up and down the fabulous Florida Keys. Now, you can describe the Florida Keys in 3 major areas. You can have the upper Keys, which is like Key Largo, the middle Keys, which is Marathon, and then the lower Keys, which is the home of one of my favorite cities, Key West.
Oh yeah, and the lower Keys is rich in diver history and tradition. A great example of that is the Underwater Music Fest. They just celebrated their 30th anniversary. Also, we're going to check out a piece of Henry Flagler's overseas railroad that is submerged off the lower Keys.
Now, I've heard of Underground Railroad. Now we're talking about Underwater Railroad, right?
Yes, sir.
Wow, can't wait it. Next on ScubaNation.
Now, part of this show, you know, we're doing a historical journey. We're going to the swing bridge off of the old 7, but there's also the Flagler Barge. The Flagler Barge, you know, was one of those things that sunk during one of those crazy hurricanes back in the 20s.
So to dive these 2 historical wrecks, we go with Bob Brayman's Hall's Diving Center and Marathon.
This dive that we're going to do now, guys, is one that's called Flagler's Barge. It's known as Flagler's Barge by the locals because, as the story goes, back when Flagler was building the overseas railroad, This barge actually started to founder in a storm.
There is no obstructions around that area in which for the schools of fish to congregate except the barge. So when the fish discover that barge, they just make it home because they're on that barge itself, and it just fills up on the inside. You could go all the way through that barge, you know, swim all over. There's nothing there that's going to entrap you. So the barge itself, you go all the way through it. But you have a little trouble navigating there because there's so many fish that you actually have to kind of part the fish in a lot of spaces just to get through the barge itself.
The great thing about Flagless Barge is that any kind of diver can enjoy it. I mean, it's only 25 feet down, so the snorkelers, they could dive it really easily. The free divers can have a field day on this thing because it's not very deep and there's plenty of fish on it. The scuba divers can hang out and really explore this wreck thoroughly. It's also a really great dive for somebody who's never done a wreck dive before. I mean, it's shallow, it's not really enclosed, and it has a lot of easy swim-throughs to kind of get yourself acclimated to what it's like to swim through these wrecks. The overhead deck is completely gone, just about, and the sides. So if you're a diver, you have never really dove a wreck before, it's going to be a great one for you because you could swim through it really super easy.
The barge itself is about 60 by 25, and it stands about 7 or 8 feet off of the bottom. A lot of panels that are laying around the dive, and under those panels there's a very good chance you're going to see some green moray. There's also a very good possibility that green moray might be keeping company with a couple of tasty crustaceans, and if you've got the licenses and the permits, then you can take one home for lunch. The life in the area is attracted to that barge, and literally it is like diving in a big tropical aquarium. I defy anybody to be able to count the number of fish that you'll see down there.
All the characters are there, and they are in massive schools, and it's a great example to take your kids, take your family, for snorkelers, for the beginning diver, and it's really could be the first wreck dive for that person in your family that is curious about wrecks. Take them to the Flagler Barge, let them see this thing for what it is, a piece of history that is now just housing loads and loads of marine life.
Coming up next, we head to Big Pine Key for an underwater concert. Stay with us.
This may just be the most curious place on Earth. Discover Curacao, an island in the southern Caribbean that offers explorers a Dutch Caribbean history, captivating cultures, uncrowded beaches, spectacular diving, and so much more. This is Curacao.
This summer, experience the UNEXO and the Dolphin Experience. Located in beautiful Grand Bahama, which is a quick trip by either plane or ferry from South Florida. UNEXO at Grand Lacayan offers the ultimate vacation for families with something for everyone. Snorkel our beautiful reefs, get wet with the dolphins by being a dolphin training for a day, to the unforgettable open water dolphin diving. The experienced diver will be exhilarated by our UNEXO pioneered shark dives. UNEXO, along with Grand Lacayan Resort, is the place for a lifetime of vacation memories for the whole family.
Dive the Atocha with Mel Fisher's expedition in Key West. Be a treasure hunter and dive the active wreck site of the richest Spanish galleon ever discovered. Mel Fisher and his crew discovered the Mother Lode in 1985. Today, the search continues for the remaining hundreds of millions of dollars in cargo. The Fisher family now invites you to learn proper salvage techniques from the world's greatest treasure hunters. Join us for the adventure of a lifetime. Today's the day.
This edition of Scuba Nation is brought to you by Sundowners, Sunset Sandwiches, Steak and Seafood. Light in Motion, find the perfect light for any activity. UNEXO, dive with the best in Freeport, Grand Bahama. Scuba Nation, I'm here with Robert Stokey at his place at Sundowners, mile marker 104 on the Bayside. Chef, what are we going to finish off dinner with here?
We got to have some key lime trifle, strawberry key lime trifle. All right.
Okay.
So what I did is I already started it off. I put some graham crackers in the bottom. All right. A little bit of key lime cream, super easy to make. Just whipped cream, sweetened condensed milk, some key lime juice, of course, a little bit of key lime zest.
Right.
I also made some key lime cake up earlier, and then we toasted off the pieces, cut them into cubes. We're just going to dump those in there. Right. So put all that in there. Just wait. No, this is so good. All right. From there,
and you could probably use pound cake or something like that.
You could use pound cake. If you don't want to go through the trouble, you can use pound cake. No problem at all. All right. We're going to pour some more key lime cream in there, nice and thick. All right. Keep going around. I would do this a couple times, a couple more layers.
Sure.
When it's done, finish it off with a little bit of whipped cream. Okay. Some more graham cracker pieces. You get something that looks just like this. Check this baby out.
My God, dude, that looks wonderful.
Right.
No, I'm just.
We'll go for it. Try the whole thing.
So
all
it's
right.
like that.
Make sure you get a big scoop.
A little bit like that. Put a little bit of take down that. And here goes my diet.
Strawberry, key lime, trifle. Super fast, super easy, great for summer.
Man. Wow, dude. Excellent. Go to ScubaNation.com. Look for the In the Kitchen with Bobby Stokey segment for the recipe on how to make this stuff. You'll be glad you did.
Love that stuff.
So if you've never seen the Underwater Music Festival, you got to at least check it out once. It's a great time. You have this armada of boats out on the water. The radios are playing. You got the divers involved. You got the snorkelers involved. And it's a really great time.
One day a year we put music underwater at a coral reef. It's the only place in the world that we think it's done. We broadcast 4 hours of specially selected music over the air that is then picked up by FM receivers on the boats, and special underwater speakers then distribute that music to the entire coral reef, to the fishes. We entertain the divers, we entertain the snorkelers, the marine life, the fish. They all seem to enjoy it. There's no place we'd rather be. It's a million miles from nowhere. We started this 30 years ago as a cultural event for the Florida Keys. We were looking for something to do. A friend and I liked music, we liked diving. We said, let's put them together. Why not? We got plenty of music, we had great diving, and we just put the music underwater. We thought it would be a one-time event, but as it turned out, people loved it. People said, let's do this every year. So we did. We've been doing it every year for 30 years now in a row. Almost like a flying fish, and here we go.
When's the tour?
The tour's over, but we're going to do an after-hours party tonight. Everyone wants to come by, bring your instruments, and we're going to rock the house tonight.
We are soulfish. We are soulfish.
This year's theme was Diving with the Stars, and we wanted people to kind of dance underwater to the music and kind of like Dancing with the Stars, but diving with the stars. We try to have a different theme each year. Sometimes we had a theme of Elvis underwater. Elvis was diving with us, and he did a good job, and he sang his songs. We have a band underwater. This year we also had Gilligan's Island.
Yes, we're going out on a 3
3-hour cruise. A 3-hour cruise.
Why did everyone bring so many clothes except for you on a 3-hour cruise?
They got the themes kicking, you know, they had Gilligan's Island this year. Sorry, Ginger, I'm a Marianne guy.
We broadcast 4 hours of specially selected music from a radio station on Big Pine Key, US 1 Radio, and it is picked up by FM receivers on the boats and then put underwater with special underwater speakers. Everybody is tuned to the same FM channel, and everywhere you are in the reef, you hear the same music. Music and sound underwater sounds very unique. You hear it not only through your ears, you pick it up through your head, through your jaw. It surrounds you. And the reason it does is that water is a very good conductor of sound. Sound travels 5 times faster in water than it does in the air. And as a result, it hits your ears at about the same time. So it's very fast. And the resulting effect is that you can't tell the direction a sound is coming from because it's all around you. It hits your ears at exactly the same time. If you wanted to hear a direction underwater, your ears would have to be 5 feet apart. Well, it's an opportunity to get a message of conservation, of reef protection underwater. We have a captive audience underwater, and we have a lot of people who listen to it on land as well. And the reef preservation messages get the word out that divers need to be careful when they're around the coral reef. They need to be careful what they touch, not touch the corals, because these are living animals. And if we all are conscious of the impacts that we have on the coral reef and lessen those impacts, this reef will be here for generations to come.
The camaraderie, everybody's having a great time, they're listening to music, everybody's laughing and having a great time. It's just one of those unique diving experiences you've got to check out down here in Lukey. Sail on in to Sea Dog Brewing Company, Clearwater, and enjoy some real people, some real beer, and a lot of fun. Come by and enjoy happy hour, 3 to 7 p.m. Sunday through Friday. Take a tour of our brewery to see just how innovative craft beer is. The Dog offers fun for families, food critics, and quality beer drinkers. Real people, real beer, real fun. If you're looking to go diving in South Florida, you need to call South Florida Diving Headquarters. They can accommodate large groups with their spacious 45-foot power cats to small private charters. They carry a complete dive shop with all your diving needs, including rental equipment. Water enthusiasts can enjoy other water sports from kayaking to the totally new phenomenon called flyboarding. So click or call South Florida Diving Headquarters and tell them the boys from ScubaNation sent you.
Hey honey, I'm on LeisurePro.com shopping for a new dive computer. I'm actually blogging with another diver that has the same one. Let me call you right back.
Have a question about a product? At LeisurePro.com, you can ask questions with other Leisure Pro customers about the products you want before you buy.
Sure.
Whoa! This edition of ScubaNation is brought to you by Reef Save, biodegrades in oceans, non-toxic to sea life. Scuba Works, quality runs deep. And Spare Air, there when you need it.
So the craziest thing about diving, the swing bridge, the historic swing bridge, the bridge that allowed ships to pass from the bayside to the ocean side. And the fact is, in 1982, that bridge became obsolete because the new 7-mile bridge, it's actually 6.95 miles, but you know, who's counting? The new 7-mile bridge displaced the old one. What are we going to do with that old switch bridge? Well, they had a pretty good idea. Let's sink it off of Marathon. Let's make it a new dive site.
They took the center span out of the 7-mile bridge, which used to be like a turnstile. So when you're driving down the highway, you drive down and then you could go over that part of it. But yet if a boat wanted to go through the bridge, they would stop the traffic, turn that turnstile open, and the boat could go through.
7-mile bridge rubble is about 5 or 6 miles offshore, directly off the Moser Channel. And it's sitting in about 115, 120 feet of water. Basically, what we're going to see is some big pieces of structure. We've got the actual gear wheels that used to twist the spring span. We've got the spring span itself. There's some big girders, long pieces of concrete, some old rails. And of course, because it's in the middle of nowhere, it's a flat sand, white sand bottom. It's an oasis of life.
You're getting all kinds of different marine animals there that you don't normally get on the other, because it's deeper water. So it's attracting fish that you sometimes will never see on the reefs. Huge grouper, big Goliath grouper also. So you get a diversity of marine life, and yet it's a great spectacular area, you know, for that rubble to be there. So it attracts a lot of fish.
Always get excited when I go hit a brand new dive, and I've never dove the swing bridge before.
Go down on the swing bridge. It was really a very interesting dive. It's kind of like off the beaten path, and it's also deep. I mean, you have to be an advanced diver to do this. And you go down, we went through a thermocline, and then we hit the sand floor, and there's debris everywhere. And then you work your way up to the actual swing bridge. It's not small. I mean, this thing was part of the old 7, a big bridge. It had trains go through it. For years, it had cars running back and forth. It was a 2-lane highway. And this piece of bridge is now a piece of history underwater of a marathon.
The thing I noticed about this wreck is that it had a lot of growth on it. I mean, it was very, very colorful. You know, all the colors were present, and it was really beautiful. The growth was heavy, had a lot of soft corals, sponges, that sort of thing, in a variety of color. It was really cool to look at.
There's a big gear wheel down there. That was the actual reduction gear that was used for the engine so it could actually swing the huge mass of the center swing bridge. That sat down there pretty much on its side. It looks like a huge big steel cog. All of the structure is almost completely covered now with good coral growth. It's been down there since 1985, so it's been down there for almost 30 years. So we've got real good growth in that particular area. Because we've got that nice flow coming through Moser Channel, then it's very, very good. It's an optimum place for coral growth on any kind of hard structure.
It has been underwater for 30 plus years, and it's evident. There's marine life all over it. There's coral growth all over the structure. There's just swarms of sea life. There's swarms of schools of fish everywhere.
Local inhabitants that you're likely to meet down there, primarily you're not going to be able to miss the Goliath grouper. Some of them will get to within 500-600 pounds.
When I rounded the corner, guess who was there to meet me? A huge Goliath grouper. I guess I kind of startled him because he kind of swam away from me. Billy C was on the other side of the wreckage, and he didn't know he was behind him. So he swam past him, past his back, and he gave off one of those big Goliath group barks. So cool to hear underwater.
This is considered to be an advanced dive, well within the bounds of recreational diving. The bottom is going to be at 115 to 120 feet, and the structure is going to come up with it from 25 feet from the bottom in places. Like I say, we are going to be doing a safety stop, so it's a good idea to make sure that you have your computers and a watch. It's always fun to do a deep dive, but it's always good to be on the safe side.
Mitch, we welcome everybody coming to Marathon, and they have great diving, fantastic places to go. You'll have a great vacation down here. It's a lot of fun.
The great thing about Flagler's Barge is that to
the entire coral reef, to the fishes and the bird, not the birds.
Take it from right there. Maybe after the dives, we can throw the football around, talk about the next season coming up, 2015. I'm going to beat the Dolphins, maybe go back to the Super Bowl. Oh, Tom, you're so dreamy.
This may just be the most curious place on Earth. Discover Curacao, an island in the southern Caribbean that offers explorers a Dutch Caribbean history, captivating cultures, uncrowded beaches, spectacular diving, and so much more. This is Curacao.
Somebody's got a birthday coming up. What would you like, honey? A new tie?
I was thinking a little bit more like cool dive clothes.
Basketball ticket?
How about a cool hat?
A new car?
Now this is it.
That is nice. That's ScubaNation apparel.
Mayuzi!
Available at ScubaNation.com.